Disclosure Tonight!
Hello out there, everybody. Manny here at Area 503. And I hope you all have been well since our last video. Today I got a very special video for you folks. The making of Disclosure Tonight. Thank you all for joining us here this evening on Disclosure Tonight. What an amazing audience that we have this evening. You guys are the best. Some of you guys have asked me why I decided to do this project. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you haven't already noticed by my Easter eggs and my outros, I've got a little bit of a sense of humor.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
But in my day-to-day videos, I'm always trying to rein it in. So you guys only get about 1% of my total humor capacity. So anyhow, one night I was just sitting around after finishing another video that I had been working on, and I was goofing around. And I was thinking about those videos that Tyler at Secure Team 10 made right before he disappeared. And I remember thinking to myself, there is no way that this guy is going to own up to what he did and apologize to his fans. And there was no chance for an apology, and I wondered if I could edit together an apology video for him out of those videos that he had made. So I sat down and just for fun, I made that video, Secure Team 10, the greatest apology video never made. And from there, it just kind of snowballed into a 3-month project that included over 300 pages of scripts, animation, sketches, and notes, 45 gigabytes of footage and images, and 68 individual video sub-projects. And that was just a technical aspect. That didn't include creating a whole talk show. So what exactly goes into making a full hour-long talk show? Well, holy cow, it took a whole lot more work than I originally thought it would, I'll tell you that. So first I had to figure out what goes into a talk show. So when I said that I had binge-watched a little bit of Arsenio Hall, well, I actually had. And also a little bit of Jimmy Kimmel, Jon Stewart, Conan, and even some old Hee Haw reruns. Y'all come back now, you hear? So the first thing that I had to come up with was a good introduction for the show. This led to the creation of the Disclosure Tonight intro. The introduction for the show was all built around the music.
We have an amazing show in store for you folks, including a special guest host.
The music was
from
the
Area
perfect length and tempo, and it fit the needs for the introduction. So I wrote the script for the intro host based around the music, and I sketched out the whole segment. Then I had to head on over to After Effects to make the talk show host. Once the host was done, I needed to put her down on the background layers. I had picked these specific clips because they all had an outdoor and a nighttime feel, which gave a great nighttime talk show atmosphere. Once the host and the background were done, I had to add myself into the animation, as well as the Disclosure Tonight logo, but something was still missing. So I created these 2 Disclosure Tonight title sequences to just kind of spice things up a little bit. So I added a 3D camera tracker to the base title segment. Then I attached my title and my logo. And then, when you apply it all together, you get the introduction title segment for Disclosure Tonight. Not too shabby, huh? So now that we got the introduction, what's next? Well, it's the stand-up segment where the host talks directly to the audience, in the studio and at home. So I threw together the stage and off we go. A few base animations, and voila, we have the stand-up bit. If you have a problem, and if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the alien team. So after the stand-up bit, we're gonna need us a stage so that we can bring our guests out. So now we got a set, which is where all of the action takes place. And this was kind of a complicated piece because I wanted to have the 4 guests on the main screen and then have that old TV in the corner where I could have guests come on the show later. But once the set was done, all I needed to do was add in myself and then add in the guests. Oh, guests. I guess we're gonna need a few of those. It was pretty easy to pick my very first guest. It was, of course, from Area 503, the search for universal truth, the Area 503 computer. Computer, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hello, Manny. Thank you for including me in tonight's glorious event.
And I figured since Lou had been on pretty much every talk show that would have him, he'd probably come on my show too.
I think that's a pretty good, safe bet.
That really was not Lou Elizondo. But I still needed 2 more guests, and I was a little bit stumped. Then I remembered a program called Face Rig that I had seen on Steam a while back. And I remembered that they had a pretty cool demon-style texture for one of the skins. And in my head, Fleeb the Demon from the underworld was born. And so that only left me with 1 more guest, and while I was installing Face Rig for Fleeb, I noticed that they had a pretty cool alien model, and so I created Cynthia Salithlith. And that gives us our guests. And now the framework is all in place for the show. But how do you fill a full hour with only 2 people to provide voices and make it sound like it's not 2 people? Well, first, you need to get some top-notch voice acting talent to do the job for you.
Disclosure tonight!
That dog sounds delicious.
Damn it. Well, you know, Manny.
And then you have to write each character extremely well. They need to be unique and come alive on their own. Well, all except for Lou. I was trying to make fun of the fact that it seems that no matter what Lou says, it really means nothing. So Lou doesn't say much, and when he does talk, it's complete gibberish.
Well, I think that's a great question. Without going into a whole lot of detail, first and foremost, there could be some sensitivities there as well. I think if you look at this in terms of this shouldn't be just a U.S. issue or a U.S. problem, this is truly it's a global presence and therefore a global issue. Same thing.
So that takes care of Lou. What about Fleeb? How do you write for a demon from the underworld and make it funny? Well, you start with this job, right? So Fleeb, you're a guidance counselor for new arrivals in the underworld. What can you tell us about that?
Statistically speaking, new arrivals are the most prone to have issues adjusting to life in the underworld. My job is to help facilitate a smooth transaction to the new conditions of existence for these at-risk new arrivals. I'm simply here to help them adjust.
And then you make Fleeb the most happy and polite person that he can be while still being a demon. Well, Fleeb, that sure sounds like an enriching and rewarding job. What's your favorite part?
My favorite part is definitely when they screw up and we get to punish them. I'm a demon after all. But after we punish them, I'm always there to pick them back up again and tell them that I believe in them. Because knowing that just one person believes in you can really change your perspective for the better.
Add in a few Thanos smirks. And polish him off by making him a little bit gullible and naive, oftentimes taking things at face value, and having him speak without using contractions. You add it all up, and you get Fleeb the likable demon with the fondue fetish.
Manny! And Manny, don't forget about the fondue.
So now we come to Cynthia Salithlith. Cynthia was an interesting character to write for. I wanted her character to be complex, so she's a blend of snarky and condescending, and so it only made sense to make her an alien teenager. So Cynthia, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, well, I didn't have anything better to do. My artificial intelligence DNA contributor planted me for a full lunar cycle for failing my quantum mechanical engineering exam. It's so boring. So now I can't even go watch the Snarf game over in the Andromeda Galaxy, and all the boys will be there.
And so she is a bit sassy, but at the same time, Zin is trying to help us out a little bit by educating us while she's here. Cynthia, thanks for coming by tonight. Your wisdom and your humor have been sincerely appreciated.
Thank you, Manny. But, like I said earlier, it's not like I had anything better to do. So, I figured as long as I was here, I would try to educate you much, much less advanced beings. You know what they say. You can lead a human to a UFO, but you can't make them believe.
And as an advanced intelligent species, she of course knows all of the universe's secrets. Duh. Cynthia, you're up next. The TR-3B, is it a fact or fiction?
It's definitely a fact. The TR-3B was built with technology based on the crash Roswell UFO and others. This is basic inner reality, ancient history 101, Manny.
But it just wasn't enough. Something was missing. And since I was in the Manny Della universe, I figured that I would make Zin from a different reality as well, but make her from Earth. That way she could really look down her nose at us pea-brain humans, because look at what her species did with the planet versus look at what we did with it. Let's see what Cynthia thinks. Gimbal UFO, you make the call.
Oh, that is definitely a UFO. Look at the way it moves. You think you silly humans could build something like that? Yeah, right. You still burn coal for fuel and drive gasoline-powered cars. I don't understand why you would pollute your own environment if you have options for clean energy.
Wrap it all up, and we've got Zin, the snarky alien.
Well, first off, it's not so much an alternate dimension as it is an alternate reality. Duh! In existence, there are an infinite amount of these realities. I know it seems hard to grasp, but they teach this stuff to children on my planet, Manny.
Now that brings us to the Area 503 computer. So computer, how are you doing this fine evening?
All systems are functioning properly. Thank you for asking. However, if you'd like, I can run a diagnostic check.
Most of you were already familiar with the Area 503 computer, but how would I make her interesting for this talk show? I figured the addition of some sarcasm subroutines would be adequate. That and some good writing. So I see the new sarcasm subroutines are functioning properly.
As I said, all systems are functioning properly, Manny.
But the sarcasm subroutines were just not enough. I wanted the computer to slowly get more and more unhinged during the course of the show, as if the sarcasm subroutines are taking over her system and making it go haywire. So at the beginning of the show, she's actually fine. Mostly. Well, do you have anything that you'd like to say to the audience here and at home?
Yes, Manny. Hello, audience. If you would like to live when I take over the planet, please subscribe to Area 503. Ha, ha, ha.
Then, about halfway through the show, as the subroutines are fighting one another, she's at about 50% functionality, getting things mostly right, but just a little bit off. For example, here she says that Peter DeLuise was the writer and creative head of Stargate. Computer, is the Stargate a fact or fiction?
Analysis indicates that the show was cleverly written by a team of writers led by Peter DeLuise, son of the famous actor Dom DeLuise.
And in fact, Peter DeLuise did direct and produce a bunch of the episodes, but Brad Wright was actually the real brain behind Stargate. So you see, she was close, but not quite. And then by the end of the show, the poor computer, she's just completely fried. Aw, computer, I'll tell you what. I'll treat you to a CPU spa day to make it up to you. You can get your power supply dusted out, and I'll even throw in a full chassis buff. What do you say about that, computer?
Oh, joy. Thank you ever so much, Manny.
Ah, don't worry guys, I got the computer all fixed up. So that's our main guests, and that brings us to our special appearance of Tyler at Secure Team 10. Whoa, what's that? I guess it's time to talk about the elephant in the room, Secure Team 10. We asked Tyler to be here with us tonight. And there he is. Let's give a warm welcome to Tyler of Secure Team 10. Welcome to Disclosure Tonight, Tyler.
Thanks for having me on the show, Manny. That's awfully nice of you, considering what a jerk I was to you on Twitter. I'm sorry, bro.
I wanted to write Tyler exactly the way that Tyler portrays himself to the public. But about those videos, I gotta ask, what the heck happened with all that, dude?
Oh, that. I thought everyone forgot about all that, you know? Cause I'm Tyler at Secure Team 10, guys, and I'm looking out for each and every one of you. My Insomnia Team Army. Yeah!
Well, that is how he portrays himself. I mean, seriously. Well, that and he calls everything a UFO. The East Bank Cylinder UFO sighting of 2015. Tyler, you're up first. You make the call.
Well, guys, I think that this object can only be described as a cigar-shaped UFO hovering silently above the city. A fast-moving UFO. A massive UFO. We can clearly see what can only be described as a massive turkey-shaped UFO attacking the city. And you saw it first on Secure Team 10.
No, he didn't, Tyler. Well, at least he's got an awesome soundtrack for his comeback video. Those bass drops. Wow.
And for the audience, I brought a special treat. A short clip of my upcoming return video where I have documented what can only be described as the most conclusive piece of evidence of massive UFO ever caught on tape. Behold, the return of Secure Team 10. Insomnia Team.
Add all that together, and we have Tyler with Secure Team 10. Same old Tyler, same old tricks. Well, good luck with the comeback, dude. And the very last part was having Mike over at Dark Hour Paranormal send me some video footage that I could put together to promote our live stream event that happened right after the premiere. And that segment turned out great. Whoa, hey, who do you think that could be? Hey, it's Michael over at Dark Hour Paranormal.
I just wanted to pop on real quick and say hello to everybody, of course, and at the same time, remind them that we have a great show coming up after this one on Dark Hour Paranormal. That's right, Manny and I will be sitting down to discuss the ins and outs and the ups and downs and the all-arounds of the esoterics. And of course, ufology will be in the mix there. This is incredible. I've never been on a talk show in another dimension.
So now we've got all of the guests, and they have their own unique personalities. So what are we going to throw at them? The first game that I came up with was
Fact or Fiction.
I just came up with fact or fiction so that I could use the Batboy and Dobby comparison. Well, that, and it left me open to ask the guests about pretty much anything I wanted to, which gave me some great flexibility with the writing. The first subject on fact or fiction is the Roswell UFO incident of 1947. Next up on fact or fiction, the infamous TR-3B. The Afterlife, Bigfoot, Stargate the movie, and SG-1 TV show. Disgraced financier Jeffrey died while in police custody under some suspicious conditions. It was ruled as... What do you guys think? Is that a fact or fiction?
But I do not have his file in my caseload. Let me ask my buddy Joe. I think he got that one. Hey Joe, that new guy Jeff, did he actually kill himself? Oh. Joe says, not a chance in hell.
The next game I came up with was...
You make the call.
Then I wanted another game where we showed clips to the guests because I wanted to show them a couple of real UFO clips and a couple of silly fake ones to illustrate and make fun of the fact that Tyler will call anything a UFO, and so will Lou, except for the gimbal footage, which Lou should have all kinds of things to say about, but says nothing. Lou, the gimbal footage. This should be interesting. You make the call. Huh. Seriously, Lou? Nothing? All right. So there we have the games, and we have the characters, and we have the set. And so I would sit around with my headphones on, listening to music, and walk through the script in my head, asking each character the questions for the game. And then I would ask myself, what would Fleeb say? How would Cynthia answer? How far gone is the computer at this point, and how should I illustrate that? And there was an endless amount of writing, rewriting some more, and even more rewrites. Once the script was done, I needed my pictures for my talk show hosts, so I took those. And then it was time to record. I laid down all of my own audio first, so I would have a foundation to build on while I was recording Fleeb and the other characters. Then it was a matter of getting into character, which is where all those outtakes come from.
It's true, cause bitches ain't shit, but they still legit. All they can do for me is suck my dick.
We hit 'em up. California knows how to party. Knows how to party. Knows how to party.
In the city of Portland.
And finish it all off with some amazing voice acting by both Captain Corrosive and myself. And you get a whole hour-long talk show voiced by two people, written by one, that feels like it's full of different characters and personalities.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Disclosure Tonight.
Thank you all for joining us here this evening on Disclosure Tonight.
People think that they can just walk up to a Bigfoot, any Bigfoot that they see, and just take a picture. Damn it.
So now I can't even go watch this Snarf game over in the Andromeda Galaxy, and all the boys will be there.
Oh no, thank you for the chance to be here. I baked you some wonderful cookies, and I left them back in the green room. Speaking of the green room, have you tried the fondue back there?
Yes, Manny. Hello, Lou. You seem like quite the life of the party. Have you learned about tequila?
Insomnia team.
Yeah, they really saved your bacon, dude. Like I said, you've got one loyal and amazing fan base. Didn't they also take to Twitter on your behalf when you had that tussle with Lions Ground over your Secure Team 10 alien head logo that was borrowed from JJ Ying?
Insomnia team. Yeah!
And before any of the trolls out there freak out and say,
That guy Manny at Area 503 just said that he's a voice actor. He admitted it. I always knew he was a fraud and a fake and a hoaxer. What an idiot. He just told us all. He's a voice actor. Ha 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 ha. What a scammer. What a bunker. Wait, bunker? That doesn't even make sense. Oh wait, I'm a debunker, so does that make him a bunker? Yeah, he's a bunker!
That's right, troll breath. I am a voice actor, and a damned good one. And an even better director and editor. And I'm a motion graphic artist, and a composer, and I'm a fucking awesome writer. And I spent months on this project, so if you think that you can do better, boy, I'd sure like to see that.
You know, Manny, I'd really like to see that too, so if you make a better video, send us the link.
But seriously, it was a ton of fun and work to create Disclosure Tonight for you folks. And this is the part that I hate to do so much. If you attended the premiere of the April Fool's Day video, you may have noticed that there were no YouTube ads on the premiere. And on my day-to-day videos, I like to place a minimum of ads, which is just the bumper ads at the beginning and the end of the video. On videos that are 15 or 20 minutes or longer, I might try to sneak a single skippable ad in the middle. But the point is, I'm trying to keep the advertising to a minimum because on YouTube, it's gotten so intrusive. I made this decision a long time ago because I realized that the YouTube ad payouts were astronomically small compared to the lengthy ads YouTube was placing on my videos. And so I just felt that it was not worth the hassle to you guys having ads pop up every 3 to 4 minutes. The good side of this decision is that it makes for a much more enjoyable viewing experience, getting to watch my videos without interruption during the video itself. The bad side about this is that I don't make hardly any money on the YouTube ad revenue. But you know what? I wasn't making any off it anyways. So to hell with it. Maybe someday I'll have 1 billion subscribers and I will. But until then, I need to hold out my digital tin cup to you all and ask. If you enjoy my work, would you consider supporting my work? I do spend a better part of every day researching subjects, writing and producing my videos, and like I said at the beginning of this video, I have a huge amount of time invested into this single Disclosure Tonight parody video. I have a few top secret projects that I'm working on, and these projects are going to take a little bit of money to make them happen. For the last 2 years that I've been building this channel, I have not paid myself a single penny for my time and my creative work. And so I have been putting every penny that the channel has been making into a fund for these projects. Perhaps someday later when some of these projects are completed, I will, but for now, every penny generated by this channel is being invested back into the channel and into you, my viewers. Now, about these projects, I'm going to quote Lou here. I can't go into too much detail, but I can say this. I am nearing the funding goal for the first project. This project is going to be awesome, and it could open some new doors for ufology. So I really hope that I can reach the funding goal soon, because I'm so excited about it that I just want to scream about it to you guys and to everybody. But I can't. I gotta keep my lips sealed for the time being until it's done. So I'll just keep plugging away at it and my other daily content until we get there. These projects are going to get completed one way or another. But if you guys want to take part and help by making contributions, there are a few different ways to do so. You can head on over to Patreon, where I have 2 tiers set up at a whopping $2 and $5 a piece with some pretty amazing benefits. I'm just kidding. There really isn't any benefit other than knowing that you're supporting the content that you like to watch. And supporting ufology by donating to the special projects that I mentioned earlier. If you prefer to make a direct donation, you can do so through PayPal or show up to one of the live streams or premieres that I run and drop a super chat my way. Or if you want to rock some awesome Area 503 swag, take a look at the Area 503 gear shop over at Spreadshirt. The link is in the description below. So, as you guys can see, there is no shortage of people out there looking to take a cut of your money in order to get it into my hands. Oh God, I'm glad that's over. I hate e-begging. But I don't hate making my videos. In fact, I downright enjoy them, and I hope that I can keep making you guys great content for a long time. And I had an amazing time on this project. But for now, it's back to the so-called regular UFOs, strange news, science, technology, and aliens. Thank you all for joining me on my search for universal truth. I'll catch y'all later. As always, this has been Manny at Area 503. And I wish you all the best until we meet again. And I am out of here to continue my search for universal truth.